What's going on, people, and welcome back to Blue Steel Podcast show number 4. I'm your co-host LV Live, my homeboy, my other co-host Jeff. What's going on, brother?
Hey man, it feels good to be back. We ended summer things, but we got the Labor Day weekend here. We appreciate the texts and emails and this DMs and all that stuff we've been getting. We're here though. It feels good to be back, brother.
Yeah, it definitely is. Like you said, end of summer, and now things are starting to kick up, as you know. NFL, college football, fights, and all those other new things, and we're gonna bring that all to the people today. People, please, thank you for all the DMs, like Jeff stated, all the support you guys been giving. But please subscribe and hit the bell icon when you get a updated notification of our show. Also, too, we will make sure that we put things on Instagram for a lot of you guys, Instagram and Twitter. If you do have an Instagram handle, you can email it to us. But yeah, please follow us to where you can pretty much get updated notification if you're not on YouTube, whether you're on Instagram, to where you can kind of pretty much be up to date with everything that me and Jeff are doing here at Blue Steel and just bringing you guys that good sports stuff.
Absolutely. And just so they know, YouTube's Blue Steel Show, Instagram is Blue Steel Show, like all together, and Twitter is at Show Steel. Just so you know.
Yes, thank you. And I said it before, and I'm gonna say it again. Football is back, Jeff.
It is.
Football is back and better than ever. It feels so good. Also, too, I saw a lot of games this weekend, man. A lot of college games. They had so many games on this weekend, man. It was so hard to keep up, going to last minute barbecues and all that good stuff. But you had USC playing UNLV. You had the big game, Washington at Auburn, and of course, people from the Northeast, they wanted to see Michigan against Notre Dame, and like I said, I love college football because I get to see, who's going to be who, and of course, who my Giants can pick up. That's why I love it, because I want to see who can the Giants get, or who's going to be possibly the next star in the NFL. Believe it or not, that's where I first saw Sam Darnold. That's where I saw, of course, Saquon Barkley. All these guys on Sunday that you see getting those big time contracts that we're about to discuss. They first started out playing on a Saturday gridiron.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now, like I stated, big time contracts. All I'm gonna say is money, 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 money. Money.
A lot of money. Man.
Okay, so first, who started off, Jeff? I think it was OBJ, right? He was the one that cracked first.
Yeah, back from Junior, your boy. That is nice contract. What is it, $85 million? I believe. Is that what it was?
No, I think.
No, it wasn't actually.
Yeah, I think it was 95. I mean, I should know. I'm a Giants fan, right?
Yeah. I was deferring to you on that.
But yes, my boy got 95 million, 65 million guaranteed. I mean, this is the biggest contract that a receiver has ever seen.
Ever.
Be clear. I'll be the first to say this. If you want to rank receivers in the league today, to me, I got him right behind AB. Some people, to me, I think they're interchangeable between Beckham and Julio, but I think at the top of the food chain is AB. I don't think none of those guys that we're speaking of are better than Randy Moss, are better than Megatron, who we easily forget about because he was in Detroit, not playing in a big market. But imagine if he would have played with the Steelers or the Giants or the Cowboys, the blue bloods of the NFL. Imagine if Megatron would have played with one of those teams. So that's why he easily gets lost in the conversation.
Right.
If he was playing in this time, imagine the contract he would get.
Oh yeah.
So trust me, I don't feel that, he is the best wide receiver. I think he's right there. I think he's right in that conversation. But this sets the tone now, Jeff. He just lifted up the whole line of now what is expected if you're putting up those type of numbers.
Yeah, exactly. OBJ Like, I agree with you, right, man? AB, and he's younger than all those guys too. So his ceiling, like his numbers, we always go by. There's been a couple of discussions we had talk about numbers, like projecting where somebody's at versus an all-time great like Jerry Rice. He's only like behind somebody like Jerry Rice, maybe Randy Moss in terms of where his numbers are at this point in his career. And he missed the whole season. Basically, last year he played 4 games, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's a great player. His only thing, I'm just hoping he keeps his head together. He's in that New York City area. Hopefully he stays grounded and stays on the grind. Stays grounded and stays on the grind and just keeps perfecting his craft, man. But he's an electrifying player. He's in a great market, the biggest market you can be in America. So, I mean, the world is his, man. He just got to go out there and crush it.
Yeah, very true. Very true. I mean, I think you nailed it when you said, you hope that he's able to keep his head because what people don't understand and realize, well, I'm not going to say people, I'll say some people, the money only magnifies who you are.
Yeah.
So, without the money, this is who he was. So now that he has it, is this just going to magnify the diva attitude? I think he understands what's been said about him. I think he's going to lock in. He knows that now he's got to show and prove. He's got to prove that he deserves and earns this money. But this was a blockbuster deal for a receiver. And I'm just thinking of what it's going to be for the guys, as I discussed right when we started the show. Who's the next OBJ? Who's the next guy coming out of college who's going to put up numbers? Because there's going to be another guy that's going to put up better numbers than what he is. Bigger, stronger, faster. It's going to be very, very interesting to see going forward. But now, right after him, now this is when I want to say the floodgates open, people.
Man.
Aaron Rodgers comes back. Jeff, I think it was maybe a day or two later, right?
Yeah, it was like right after.
Right after.
Ink wasn't even dry on this contract.
Right. Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers cracked the bank. 6 years, $134 million, 98 guaranteed, and $57 million at signing bonus. It's not even fair. I mean, these guys, like I said, they just opened up the floodgates. I wish I was in those NFL circles with the players to see what those conversations are.
Man, that's a lot of money, man.
Okay, but Jeff, does he deserve it? He is, to me, the best quarterback in the league and the best player in the league. So does he deserve it? I think he does.
There's an interesting narrative with Aaron Rodgers. So, I mean, I'm going to say this. We can probably talk about it another time. But actually, let's do it another time. But I want to put it out there. Because Aaron Rodgers, I feel, he's a no doubt about that. But, he hasn't really, he won one Super Bowl. They beat us in the Super Bowl. He gets into the playoffs. The division overall is pretty weak. But I don't know, man. There's something like not there. They should win more with the guys because if we put that much stake and that much stock and that much money into a quarterback, I should see more in production. And I know what it thinks for blah blah. Throw all that there. If I'm giving you $134 million, I'm giving you a $57.5 million signing bonus. Your average salary is $33.5 million, which is going to significantly impact for me to be able to sign other players. I need rings. I ain't talking about a ring. I need rings. You know what I mean? Like,
good point.
He's
good
a hell
point.
of a quarterback, man. But it's something like he's giving a pass. I guess is what I'm saying. He's giving a lot of passes. I feel where his quarterbacks making this much money. If it was like Cam Newton or somebody like that, or even like just anybody else, I don't know why, but I just feel like he's giving a free ride a lot of times.
Matt Ryan, he was the highest paid before prior.
Yeah, he was, and people definitely need to get on him because he's not worth it. He's definitely not.
Well, to your point, to piggyback over what you said, I'm totally agreeing with you. I don't mean to jump in, but you're right. I mean, if they're getting on him, because they're getting on Matt Ryan about the same thing. They paid him all this money. He still hasn't won a Super Bowl. So you're absolutely right on your point. But I mean, Jeff, I mean, he is good though, man. I mean, he's
a hell of a quarterback.
I mean, he's
probably the best throwing the pill ever. You know what I mean? Like, it's just as far as what he can do, where he can put the ball. You know, but like I said, man, if the quarterbacks are worth that much, why did I not see him? You didn't even necessarily win the Super Bowl, but he only made one. He won it, but that was in 2010, 11. My son was born later that year. I know. I remember. I was pissed. They beat us in the Super Bowl. Turned the TV off and walked out. I remember. So, you know, it's been a while since they even been back to the dance. And he's considered by far the best quarterback in the league. Pretty much everybody across the board says that. Where is production? If the quarterbacks are that valuable, don't give me, his defense ain't good. He should be that good to take them further than he's taking them with the money that he's commanding at this point. Because he could take less money.
right.
He could. But he's not, which I understand everybody want to, I never hate on somebody for getting any money at all. Because I would take it. So, but at the end of the day, this impacts what you can do as a team. This is a big part of your salary cap in NFL
right.
as well. So
right.
That's what I'm saying. We can talk about that another time. Let's get on to these other contracts, but
right.
Which is the defensive players, So
hey, and to hop on that. We just talked about it a couple of podcasts ago, people. So please check it out. We'll give another plug. Give another plug. Please check out our Blue Steel podcast that you're watching now. But check out episodes. I believe it's episode 2, right, Jeff? Episode 2, that we discussed the possibility of what Aaron Donald and Khalil Mack will be getting.
I believe that was episode 2. You're correct.
And
I didn't think it was this much.
Well, listen, check it out. Aaron Donald, people, $135 million, $87 million guaranteed over 6 years. Once again, if this didn't open the floodgates, I mean, it knocked it open with a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Because what this has done now, see, people, I want everyone to understand what this does. What the NFL is, it's a, what how can you outdo somebody?
Yep.
And it's based on productivity. So now this sets the market for the next guys coming up. That's why this is so huge, because now a big time D lineman coming out next year who's going to probably run into his 3rd year in the league, and if he's putting up similar numbers to Aaron Donald, now he can demand more. So now the owners are forced. They may not want to say it, but they're going to be forced now to pay these guys top dollar. And this is not a win for these guys. This is a win for the league.
The players.
And the players. And based on what has happened and transpired, people, for the last couple of seasons with, of course, the Kaepernick thing and guys not getting paid and people just having frustrations with the NFL. And also, too, with the trickle down of, Jeff, what we discussed before, the concussion issue with kids.
Yep.
Now, this pretty much gives that feeling of, hey, look, man, I want to play. Look what they're getting paid. Because now this is very comparable to NBA numbers.
Yeah, this is a big contract.
And what it does is it just makes people feel like, you know what, I'm willing to take that risk to play to get what these guys are getting. So this sets the market, because this is not a quarterback. This is not a wide receiver. This is not even a running back. This is an
edge rusher.
This is an interior defensive lineman.
Man.
And that, oh man. So that's why this is actually bigger to me than the Aaron Rodgers and OBJ contract.
I agree because this is a landmark deal. I agree with you on that.
And so, I mean, to your point, Jeff, what you mentioned a couple of podcasts ago, I think it was podcast number 2 or 3, but this guy's an all-pro. I mean, if you look at what he's done in his first couple of years in the league, it's it's Hall of Fame-ish. I mean,
it is Hall of Fame.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
he's the best. To me, he's the best defensive player in the league.
I mean, this is he's LT, man. I mean, this is Lawrence Taylor type of stuff.
Right, like 3 feet from you as a quarterback.
Right. So and I mean, this is just an astronomical deal, and he's changed it for a lot of guys. Like like a guy like Snacks Harrison. I mean, who plays with us. A couple of other, Geno Atkins. I think he just came off too with a big contract with the Bengals up there. But this sets that market. I mean, it just sets it, and then you go into the big guy. Now the edge rusher, like you mentioned. What you think you can do, I think I could do better. That seems like that's the trend going here.
Yeah, I saw something was saying who going bust first. I think so.
Well, listen,
first 135.
And now
6 years, Mac at 141.
The Big Mac attack. That's all I'm gonna say.
Man,
Khalil Mack, 6 years, 141 million, 60 million at signing bonus guaranteed. Excuse me, no, at signing bonus.
That's the signing bonus.
Right. And 90 million guaranteed. He's basically got the same contract as Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, with the guarantee money. Yeah, I didn't think about it. Yeah.
Aaron got 57. He got 60. Aaron got 98 guaranteed.
He got 98. He got 90.
He got 90. All overall, Aaron got 134. He got 141. What are the left tackles going to get? What are these guys going to get who's got to protect the quarterback and got to protect the quarterback from these monsters trying to end their career?
Exactly. Yeah, man. These are unprecedented deals, man, obviously. And much props to them for getting it. They both held out, which I like because that's all you can do as an NFL player is hold out. OBJ did it different. He had another year on his contract, but I would think that that's a little bit of a different situation.
Well, yeah, Jeff, he wouldn't have played. He wouldn't have played that year, and that's what the Giants were afraid of.
Right. So, but man, I'm really glad for ball. I'm glad Khalil Mack got out of Oakland. That's the subject we need to talk about. John Gruden at some point.
Well, John Gruden's archaic, Jeff. He's from the old guard.
Yeah.
He didn't want to pay him. And then they said,
you know the funny thing?
It's crazy.
They gave Gruden $100 million.
Well, that's why he didn't want to pay him.
But I'm saying they gave a coach $100 million versus a player who literally, Aaron Donald was the best. He's like, it's kind of like it'd be like LeBron versus like an all-star every year player, like a transcendent player versus a guy that's like, hey, he's phenomenal. Khalil Mack is a great player, but Aaron Donald, where he's at right now, is Hall of Fame. Period. If you just project, he's Hall of Fame easily. Khalil Mack could be.
Right.
But Donald is, it's just a different level of, we talk about the inner room and the Hall of Fame. Aaron Donald's on that level. Khalil Mack could be Hall of Fame if you keep it up where he's at. And he's in Chicago now, with the legacy of linebackers, etc. But, I mean, it's just, I love to see these guys get paid. I love to see the fact that they're getting their money. And we got to talk about that Oakland stuff later at another time. But yeah, man, these contracts are big and they're changing the game for sure. Because like you said, it's going to be a kid that's 12 years old right now, like, man, or even in college right now, it's like, man,
all those kids that decided not to play football anymore because of the concussion issues and who've decided to play soccer or lacrosse, they're going to easily put the soccer ball down. They're gonna put they're gonna put the lacrosse stick down, and they're gonna pick their helmet back up, and they're gonna say, "Mom, I'm going back and I'm playing football." Because also too, what this does too, Jeff, if you look deeper into it, what this does is now it changes contracts for other guys. Not to say that they're gonna get this money, but you're gonna get the deal that they really want to give these guys, that's still a big deal.
Yeah, of course, because these are the trendsetters, and people are going to fall under.
Right. So a guy like
better than these two of these positions.
right. So a guy
yeah.
right. So a guy like Landon Collins with the Giants, he may not see this, but he may see 80 million, 40 million guaranteed. You know, he may see something like that.
Right.
Because he is, you know, the best safety in the NFL. You know, give or take a couple of guys, but he's at the top. He's an all-pro. Right. So that's where it changes like that for him. Then it could change, you know, for a corner like Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
Right, you understand? So now, you know, what Jalen Ramsey might say, you know, I got AP Defensive Player of the Year this year. So he may get what OBJ got. He may get 90 million, and he might get 50 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
So right, so now it changes every single thing. Even for a guy like Juju Smith-Schuster, he may not get what AB got, or even what Julio got, but he's gonna be the next tier, which is also a huge contract. So it just opens so many different things. And to your point, man, I'm really happy for these guys because they put their bodies on the line. I mean, it kind of goes back to, you know, the whole piece of Floyd Mayweather said it best. He said they call it prize fighting. I'm not doing this just to be up in there hitting. I'm getting hit. I want a prize from it. So
right.
Why not get the biggest prize that I deserve, because I'm putting my body and my life on the line. So why not do it? And I just think that, you know, it's just a great look for these guys, especially, you know, and also too with all the bad press they've been getting the last couple of years.
Yep, man. And that's a great segue actually into the 2nd and 5 topic. And also we're gonna talk about these fights in the next couple of weeks. In 2nd and 5, 3rd and short, we're gonna do an NFL preview, and 4th and goals in the academies, just so I got an idea of what's coming up.
Yes.
But we got these fights coming up, bro. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Big fight this weekend. We got Garcia and Porter, and then the huge fight, the rematch, CANELO versus Triple G. We talked a little bit about Garcia and Porter. What you thinking now? We less than a week away from the fight. What you got?
I still got Garcia in this. To be honest, I'm not. Even though the fights are going to happen, it's going to be in the Barclays this weekend, people. Yep. Honestly, I'm not as excited for these fights. I'm excited who they're going to fight next.
Yeah.
Who's the winner going to fight? That's really what I want to go. That's really what I'm looking for, because these are not the guys people want to see. The megastars in boxing are Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, Mikey Garcia, and the next tier are the Charlo brothers, and of course the big heavyweight Deontay Wilder, and the possibility of him fighting Anthony Joshua, which won't happen, but we'll talk about him fighting Tyson Fury, which they signed on for later on in I believe it's November or December. But those are the guys people want to see. This is like the next tier of guys, and the one guy I'm looking forward to coming back and seeing, I want to see Keith Thurman. I think he's been forgotten about. So to me, the Garcia and Porter fight just sets up Thurman, Crawford, and Spence. Those three guys, because those three guys are undefeated. They're young and they're at the prime of their careers, and that's who really the people want to see in the welterweights. They want to see Spence fight Crawford. They want to see Spence fight Thurman, or Thurman fight Crawford. That's what they want to see. They don't really want to see Garcia or the Porter. This is just the appetizer.
Absolutely.
To the mega fights coming up. And the same thing with the Canelo and Triple G. I mean, the first one, everyone knew who won that fight. Canelo lost that fight.
That's ridiculous.
That's the changing of the guard. That, to me, they just did that because Triple G's on his way out, man. He's done. He's not. That's why he's avoiding fighting the Charlo brother, the oldest one. I think it's Jamal. He's avoiding fighting him. I think after this fight, I think he's done. I think win, lose, or draw, he's gonna retire. Um, so, and if you notice, the fight's not even sold out, Jeff. There's still tickets.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's just still tickets for the fight. It's not sold out. You know what I mean? So, it's not. I mean, people. I mean, it's a big fight to see, but these guys are not the trending stars. What's in the talks, and De La Hoya knows this because he's smart. He's got his ear to the ground, and he is the golden boy. I mean, I'm not really big on promotions, but the golden boy, they seem to come somewhat do it okay. He gets it. Canelo, what he wants to really set up is the Canelo Errol Spence fight in Cinco de Mayo of next year.
Yeah, we talked about that.
That's what the conversation is, and De La Hoya has come out and stated that that's what he's looking to do after this fight. To me, that is a monster fight. That is a pay-per-view fight that will really, really break some records. I don't think it's going to break Conor McGregor and, Pacquiao and Mayweather. I don't think it's going to break that, but it's going to be right behind it. But for these fights coming up these next 2 weeks, this is just the appetizers, Jeff, for the big fights that we really want to see.
Yeah, and I mean that's how boxing is. It has to be. Unfortunately, you can't box every couple weeks. So, and I mean that is fortunate as well, so they can help build stuff up. But it's slow roasting, man. It takes a while to cook it. And that's like you said. These are preludes. Whoever wins, for other fights. The welterweight division has been phenomenal for years. You just mentioned 3 boxers right there, and they all want whoever wins this, which I think I agree with you. I think Garcia will win. Porter will make it ugly like he always does. But I think unless he knocks him out, I don't think there's any way Porter will win the fight because Garcia is a much cleaner fighter. He makes much better fights. He has a bigger name than Porter. And that's how it is in boxing. The Canelo Triple G, that was just setting up a rematch. Triple G made more money. Can't blame him. He's been many years for huge paydays. This is his biggest, payday right here. De La Hoya knows that. And, Canelo's his cash cow. He got some other fighters, but nobody of note. This is literally his cash cow, Canelo. So he's been, bringing him up and making sure he's fighting who they want him to fight at the right time. So that's crazy. I didn't know the fight wasn't sold out though. But people just, I'm sure that's kind of a reaction to the last fight, man. Canelo lost that fight, so that has something to do with that, I'm sure. But like you said, next year should be a great year for boxing. I'm still not sold on this Canelo Spence fight, but I mean, it's boxing. It'll happen if people want. I mean, I'd love to see it. I'm just worried about the weight difference, like we talked about, like off air and stuff like that. But
right? Yeah. I spoke to a guy who actually he trains and he's met both of them. He said that they're the same size.
Oh, like walking
around. He said they're the same size. He said they're not Spence is. He said Spence is really the bully at 147. That's why so many guys try to avoid him. There's a guy that I know who kind of does stuff in the Barclays, and he's seen both guys. And Spence is a lot bigger than those guys at welterweight. He's taller, longer, just bone structure. Mm-hmm. He's just a bigger, stronger guy. So that's why he's a tough fight for anybody at that weight class. And he's as he's an athletic kid. He played football, so he's agile. So he's not coming in there like a lump of the log. Like he can move around. So it's different when you're a boxer, and as some guys are athletic, some guys aren't. And he's an athletic guy, so that's what makes him such a difficult fight. But he's really a 154-pound fighter. He should be fighting. Right. He's not really.
He got money there at the welterweight.
Right. So if he can drain weight, and if you see him walking around, like I saw him at the Mike Garcia fight, you could see the weight on him.
Right.
And then when you see him fight weight, you see how his face is sunken in. He's drained himself to make 147. Now he could do it because he's a young guy, so it doesn't really take a toll. But in another 2 or 3 years, I don't think he's going to be able to do that. It's just a lot for your body. but he's naturally a 154 pounder. Canelo fights at 160, but he's really a 154 guy. He's not a big. He's not a big 160.
No.
So he's
That's why he kept fighting underneath the middleweight.
Right. So they can. Right. So they can.
They can meet there.
Exactly. So they can easily make that fight. I mean, but you know, to your point, man, these are all appetizers. I'm really anticipating Keith Thurman coming back because that, you know, we've forgotten about him, and he was the undisputed welterweight champion. Now he wasn't, you know, he didn't have all the belts, but he was the guy. He beat Porter, he beat Garcia, and the next fight that they were going to talk about him possibly fighting was Spence.
Yeah, I was at that fight, you know, last March in Barclays.
Right. Him and Garcia, right?
He's out there, and he looked good. But like you said, that's when he's going to get back, and hopefully it's soon, man. It seems like he's been gone.
It's just gonna make the welterweight division just great, man, because he's such a great, talented fighter, and he's also an athlete. You know, he's an athletic guy, so you know it'll be a great fight to see, matching up and. But yeah, all these fights this year, appetizers. Even you know one fight that we don't have up there, but you know I want to mention is like I said, the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury fight, that they signed on for. That's an appetizer because what's going to happen there to me, Wilder's going to knock out Fury, and it's going to force Eddie Hearn, The Zone, and Anthony Joshua and all them people over there in England and Europe, and to force this fight's going to be forced onto them because, like I mentioned before, those belts that Joshua has, those are Tyson Fury belts.
Yeah. Tyson
Fury vacated those belts because he had the drug issue. He kind of had to go into, I believe, like rehab or something like that. I think that's what it was. Allegedly, of course. So I think that was his situation. But those were his belts. Those are the belts he got from Klitschko.
Yeah.
So that's what Joshua has. He didn't win that outright. So to a lot of people, if Wilder knocks out Fury, then Wilder's the champ.
Right.
So, but like I said, that is still an appetizer to set up what we all want to see, which is Wilder against Joshua. And if Wilder beats Fury, which the fight is going to be over here in Vegas, to me, it's going to force Joshua and Eddie Hearn to make the fight over here in the U.S. It's going to force them to. And for me, the reason why I'm excited for that fight, because this will be the first time, Jeff, think about it, in a long, long time that the U.S. has had a heavyweight champion and has unified and got all the belts. I mean, you got to think about that. When is the last time that happened? The Klitschko's have held the belts hostage for the last 10, 15 years. When has there been the last U.S. champion?
Holyfield?
Maybe, but when was it? Michael Moore or something like that? Or
yeah, something.
Then Oliver McCall get lucky and knock out Lennox Lewis that one time.
Yeah, it's been like some. It ain't been much since Holyfield. Let's put it down.
Right, an American heavyweight champion. So I think that's why I'm excited. Those belts have been in Europe for so long. I'm just excited for the U.S. to get back to being the undisputed baddest man on the planet, the heavyweight champion of the world.
Right. Yeah, that would be lovely. You want to see that? I'd like to see a trilogy out of that or something.
Yeah, oh yeah, that'll be sweet. And that'll be big money too.
Absolutely.
So 3rd and 1, we get back to my favorite part, which is the NFL preview. I'm super excited.
Yes, sir.
All right, Jeff.
Get the Giants in the Super Bowl.
Listen. Actually, you'll be proud of me. I do not have the Giants in the Super Bowl, my man.
All right, what you got?
Okay, so I'm going to break it down right now. So, NFC East, I got the Giants winning the division at 11-5. The NFC North, I got the Vikings winning it, either like 10-6 or 11-5. I think Kirk Cousins is going to have a big year out there.
I agree.
The NFC South, I think the Falcons will get it back together. I think they'll get it back rolling. That offense is too good. I see them at 12-4.
Oh, 12-4. Wow.
They got the offense.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
NFC West, uh, 12-4. I have slipped my mind here. I'm sorry.
Rams.
Yes, I have the Rams. Thank you so much for that. I got the Rams at 12-4. I think they are the new team coming up. I think the Seahawks have lost it. I think the Legion of Boom is done with. So I think the new young guns out there with Gurley, uh, Goff, and Donald and Robert Woods receiving. I think they're the next up and coming team. I think they might be just as good as when they were rolling with the greatest show on turf.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, and I got for the wild cards. I got Green Bay, and I got the Saints.
The same. Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
AFC West. I got the Chiefs 10-6 winning that.
Mm-hmm.
I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be huge this year. Huge. AFC South. Jacksonville 13-3, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
13-3. I think they are the next Steel Curtain. I think their defense, if they keep everybody intact, they are like Steel Curtain, Baltimore Ravenish. I think they have that type of skill set on that side of the ball, and that's what's really going to help them with those games. AFC North, which you call home, I got the Steelers 12-4. AFC East, it's the old story. The
Same
Patriots,
old, same old.
11-5. Tom Brady does it again. He gets them back to the playoffs. And wild cards, I got Houston 10-6, and I got the Chargers sneaking in at 9-7. For the Super Bowl, I got Jacksonville versus the Falcons. I got Jacksonville knocking you guys off in Jacksonville to get there, and I got the Falcons knocking off the Giants in that spaceship in Atlanta that they play on.
Right, it is.
to beat the Giants to get to the Super Bowl. My MVP is Deshaun Watson.
Ooh, okay.
And my defensive MVP, I think he's happy about the big money he's got, Aaron Donald.
I like that. That's I don't agree with everything.
Man, I knew you would love it, brother.
I got my AFC. I got the Patriots. I got the in the East, the North. I have the Steelers. The South, Jacksonville. In the West, I'm actually gonna go with the Chargers this year.
Ooh, that's still good.
I think Rivers is an undervalued quarterback, right? Just because they've never won anything.
Well, Jeff, I kind of had a toss up too because I had the Chiefs at 10-6 and I had the Chargers at 9-7. So I had them like neck and neck.
This right there.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I was going back and forth with. I got the Chiefs as a wild card, and I'm actually going with Houston as well as a wild card. Coming out, man. I'll do that in a second. Let's go back to the NFC. NFC East. I'm going with the Eagles, bro. You know, I can't. We're defending champs.
Yo, my man, you just see. I knew you was a hater on the low. I knew that was in you. I knew it.
hey, I got a lot of people back in Philly that I went to school with that don't appreciate that. Let me see. So in the North, I'm actually gonna go with the Vikings as well. Cousins and that defense is pretty good. In the South, I'm actually going to go with the Saints.
That's a good pick.
Over the Falcons. And then in the West, I got the Rams. Two wild cards. I'm going with the Falcons. I'm going with the G-Men. You know, as far as playoffs. Coming out, let me do the NFC first. I'm kind of going back and forth, man. I'm debating between the Rams and the Eagles.
Okay.
I think the Eagles are legit, man. They got a really, really good team. And I think, one of the bad things and it might just be me, I think that trick play kind of messes people up, making things that gimmicky, man. That defense is nasty.
Right, very true.
And that's the signature play from the Super Bowl or whatever. That's what I'm saying. But they got a nice squad. And I don't think they need to bring Wentz back until like week 4. You can see him running around like on little clips. You can tell he ain't healthy. I don't even know why they even talking about him.
He's hobbling, man. I mean, I
You can
had
tell. I'm like,
he's hobbling.
Like what's the rush?
He's still hurting.
He needs to relax for September. Come back in October, just ready to go from there. AFC, man, I'm gonna go with the Patriots again, dude. I don't
coming out.
Yeah.
For the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeff, Jeff.
As much as I hate it,
Jeff, you're going crazy, Jeff.
And there's a reason why I'm saying this. Only reason I think is gonna be. There's two teams I think is going to have a little bit of. I think they're going to make the playoffs, but I think they're going to have a little bit of slippage. The Rams, I think they're going to have a little bit of slippage. I got them in the playoffs, and I think Jacksonville too. And you know why? Jacksonville just because they quarterback, and the Rams. Sometimes when you just get so much hype, it just kind of bites you in the butt, and I think that's going to happen a little bit to the Rams, man, a little bit this year. Got them in the playoffs. I just got them. Like, somewhere along the line, they're going to get clipped by somebody. I didn't do the records or anything like that, but I just think they're going to get upset. That's going to clear the path. They can literally be the number one seed when you get to the Super Bowl. So, but yeah, man, I got the Patriots just because that's what they do, man. They just win, dude. I hate them, but I would never probably ever pick the Steelers to go to the Super Bowl. I just feel like it's bad luck. So. But I think Jacksonville and the Patriots win, and I think Patriots will just win. So.
Patriots winning it all?
No. I got the Eagles winning.
Again?
Yeah.
Oh, Jeff. Okay, Jeff. Who do you got MVP possibility? Possibly MVP this year.
Ooh, I hadn't really thought about that, to be honest. Offensive MVP, man.
Putting you on the spot.
Man. I mean, like I said, somebody like Goff, I like to give it to a quarterback. Like I said, I don't have any doubts that they're going to win.
I like that. Jared Goff's a good pick. I like that.
But, it's a quarterback award, basically. And I definitely go with Aaron Donald as the defensive player of the year.
Yeah, he's so disruptive. I mean, it's just so hard not to give it to him. I mean, he's unlike anything I've ever seen on that defensive line. He's so small, he's short, he knows how to squeeze in those cracks. He's just great with his hands. On that it's just he's hard to block. So I mean, he's unlike anything I've ever seen before. Jeff, I love you, Jeff. We have years of friendship. You're my boy. But Jeff, man, you sound crazy. There's no way the Patriots are making it out, Jeff. If Jacksonville has home field advantage, Tom Brady's not beating them in Jacksonville. I don't see that happening. Jacksonville honestly should have won last year, but I think their experience hurt them. And I wasn't surprised that happened. I wasn't surprised the Patriots did that. So they were a game from the Super Bowl. I think they've learned from that. And believe it or not, with a lot of teams, I think it gives them that hunger for more. And I think Jacksonville will be back and better, improved. I think a great move to me that Jacksonville should have made, but I think there could be a possibility if the team doesn't choose to re-sign him. I think that Jacksonville should have snatched up on Teddy Bridgewater. I think that would have been a great steal for them at quarterback.
Yeah, he didn't get traded either, right?
Yes, he did. He got traded to. He got traded to the Saints. So So I guess they're kind of setting up for Breeze's departure. To me, that's what that move signifies. So I don't know if they're going to be able to re-sign him because I think he's still going through the contract piece also. So I don't know if they'll be willing to pay. If they're not willing to pay him, and let's just say they cut Drew Brees loose, if I'm Jacksonville, I'm hopping on him and giving him everything that he wants to solidify a Super Bowl within the next 2 years and then just take it from there and decide who I could sign on defense, who I can't, because the goal is to win a Super Bowl.
Exactly. You got to go all out.
And so you have that, and then you pick the Eagles, Jeff. The Eagles was just a 1-year fluke.
Think it's a fluke?
The reason why a lot of those games that they won, it wasn't convincing wins.
No.
They snuck out of a lot of games. I want to say about 5 or 6 games. You give or take a missed field goal a fumble, a drop pass, they lose those games.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. I think Carson Wentz is done. I think he tore up his knee pretty bad. If they do win, right? Let's just say everything works out as planned, and they win again. There's no way the Eagles can trade Nick Foles. There's no way. They got to keep him.
No,
they will burn that city to the ground if the Eagles win back-to-back championships and they decide to bench Nick Foles for Carson Wentz. I think this is going to be a Tom Brady, Drew Bledsoe situation. I think Carson Wentz is going to be on his way out. I don't think they're going to keep him around. He's going to want too much money.
No way.
He's going to want too much money. And the thing is that you got to go based off of who has the hot hand and who's winning. They're not going to keep a quarterback, Jeff, on the bench who's making $60 or $70 million or whatever it is his contract is.
I don't know what his. I don't know what. Yeah, he has a good contract.
Right. So I don't think, and I think I'm lowballing it in regards to that number. So they're not going to keep him on the bench, but they can't play him if Nick Foles is winning. They can't do that. And it also too, is he 100%? I think he might have rushed himself back because he knows that this guy won a Super Bowl. If I don't get back out there and play, right? You know how it goes. Right. The NFL is what have you done for me lately league. You know that. So
of course.
I could see that happening, and I can see Philadelphia, the fans, and everybody being okay with the move because Nick Foles has won a Super Bowl for you, and he's followed it up with another solid season to where you possibly made it to the playoffs and lost or even went back to the Super Bowl. How can you even argue the Eagles deciding to keep Nick Foles?
Yeah, he has one of these crazy contracts. I can't even explain.
Right, so that's what I mean. So, but what I do like about the league this year though is that it's a toss-up. It's so many good teams.
Yeah.
I think a lot of teams are going to be knocking off each other. So you're going to see someone different than the Pats, Jeff. I just see it. I think
I love it. You know that.
I think the Chiefs are going to be dangerous. I think with that defense and with that quarterback that they have, did you see him throw like an 80-yard bomb from like the 10?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, he's very talented.
I mean, I think that I think he changes things for them. He does things for them that what was the quarterback there? He just went to the Redskins.
Kirk Cousins.
No, not Kirk
Cousins. Alex Smith.
Alex Smith. He does things for them that Alex Smith just could not do. Yeah. And it's just skill set. I mean, he just has a higher ceiling. So I really think that the Chiefs are dangerous. The Chiefs are dangerous. I see them going 10-6, but I can easily see them going like 12-4, 11-5. Like I can easily see them doing that.
They always.
But I think the top of the division in AFC, I think everything's going to go through either Jacksonville or Pittsburgh. I think the Steelers in that offense, Jeff, I know that's your boy, so you don't want to kind of, say anything because of bad luck. I get all the whole, the hoaxes and the potions and the bad luck stuff that comes with that. I get it. But Jeff, the Steelers are for real, man. They're legit. And Tomlin's a great coach. I think their arch nemesis is Jacksonville because them and Jacksonville are basically twin brothers.
Yeah, they have a much better defense than we have.
Right, but what I'm saying is that defense is they got the blueprint from who?
Yeah, exactly.
From Pittsburgh. So, I mean that's how it's built. So
outside of just being terrible for a lot of years.
Right. So and then you gotta understand they have a legit running game, a legit line with Fournette. They have good receivers. Right. So that's what I'm saying. So, it's gonna be an exciting year, people. I'm so excited for football. I can't wait. I think also too another team that I did not mention. I did mention them, but I think a team on the way up is Houston. I agree with that. Oh man, I think they're just with Watson, and you have DeAndre Hopkins out there. I keep on forgetting the kid's name, man, from Notre Dame. Will Fuller. You got Will Fuller on the outside. I mean, Deshaun Watson changes everything with that team.
Yeah, Absolutely.
And don't forget, they still got that defense. They got Clowney, and they got your boy at the other edge,
J.J. Watt.
J.J. Watt, J.J. Watt. So in the coming years, they're going to be really, really a formidable team. So it's exciting, man. I can't wait, and we'll definitely get back to you people in regards to the results for week 1, because this might change after week 1.
It might. Or
if someone gets smoked 42-17, this will change up everything.
We can go back like I ain't mean that one. Yeah, so.
You definitely change up things. So, but yeah, people, we're gonna move on. So, 4th and goal. Coming to the end of our show. It's something that I wanted to bring up and mention to you guys. Something that I think is going to change, and something that I feel, based on things that I've heard and kind of seen, where the NBA is going and their drive. And I want to say drive because they are committed to being the number 1 sports affiliation in the world. They want to take over for football and they want to take over for soccer. And I think what has jump-started this is what happened last year in the NCAA with the whole sneaker FBI probe into Adidas, Nike, right? Or was it just Nike, Jeff?
I can't remember which shoe. I want to say even more Adidas than Nike, actually, but I think it was both.
Right, because the schools that were involved were with different shoe brands.
Yeah.
And I think what has happened now is Adam Silver and the NBA have gotten involved in this issue that's plaguing college basketball. And you have, I don't know if you people know, some of you people may not be really into this, but Jeff knows. With Jeff being very, very linked into the AAU circuit, I'm plugging him because my boy does a great job out there with being in the loop of everything that goes on with the AAU piece. There's so many guys that got their hands in the pot that it's very, very hard to keep their hands out of it. And you can't regulate it. You can't. You have so many people's aunts, cousins, uncles, brothers, extended family members who are linked to guys that are called runners, who work closely with these sneaker companies and work closely with the colleges, and the colleges, not the head coach, but the assistant coach.
Right.
And who is passing money and promising kids, like, listen, you can sign with Nike, you just have to go to a Nike school. The NBA is aware of this. And what Adam Silver is trying to do is he's trying to start something very similar to what soccer does, and that's called the academies.
Yeah.
Now, be clear, Adam Silver did not say this, so I want to mention this is just my feelings and what I think is going to happen within the next 10 years, people. The NBA, once again, wants to be the number 1 sports affiliation, number 1 over the NFL and over the Premier Leagues of soccer, La Liga, and all them other leagues out there in Europe. They want the NBA to dominate in the U.S., North America, South America, in Europe, and Asia. And the only way you can truly do that is if you have these academies set up in different locations to find the top players at a young age, because soccer does the same thing, people. They find kids at prodigies is what they call them. 11, 12, or 13 years old, and they put them in an academy. It's kind of like a boarding school. And all they do is eat, sleep, and another word.
Yep, that's it.
That sport. They'll take classes. They'll do the remedial math, reading, right? Just to pretty much learn how to count their money. And then they wake up and they go right back and they work on their skill set, which is their sport. If the NBA does this and they put this in effect, they will take over football. And they will be the top dog as far as sports in the world. Because it's slowly on the rise. And I'll let Jeff chime in right now because he knows what's going on in the AAU circuit.
Yeah, AAU circuit is horrible. I said that for years. We've talked about it a number of times. And I predicted this, bro. I didn't know how it was going to happen. Remember, we talked about this a few years ago.
Yes.
I told you the NBA was going to be... Because NBA worldwide is bigger than NFL. NFL is huge in the American market, obviously. But the NBA has a footprint in China and all Europe and all over the world. And, you know, like we brought this topic up because you made an excellent point about it as far as making the NBA a worldwide league in the long run, you know. I mean, and quite honestly, it's going to happen because, I mean, I don't know if the CB is worldwide. We don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we do know that, you know, I can 100% see how this stuff, we don't know exactly how it's going to happen with these academies growing and all over the world, things like that. But the NBA, it's going to be NBA versus soccer as far as worldwide dominance. I mean, obviously, we prefer the NBA. My sons and stuff play soccer, but I think basketball is, out of the two, is a better sport to me. I like soccer a lot, but it's grown on me over the years. But this will help blow up that AAU nonsense and the way it's ran and not regulated, because it's not regulated really, very loosely. And they do that on purpose, which has a whole lot of other implications. Because AAU volleyball is not ran and it's through the same organization, it's not ran anything like basketball, which brings up a lot of different things, race and all those other issues that we could talk about another time. But it's big, man. It's a big thing. I like what Adam Silver's thinking, man. Get the dirty and the backhand deals out of the game and just developing people. I don't like the thing of trying to pick prodigies at like 7. I've seen a lot of kids who can play 8, 9, and they're not that good at 10 or 11. You know what I mean? Just in my own experience of seeing kids. But I understand why they would do it, and you know, and if it can be done to a degree where it doesn't make kids exclusive too early and leave out other kids who develop later in life and things like that, then I like it. Or if gives kids opportunity to be in the program and not necessarily considered elite. I don't know how it works, but I definitely see something like this happening because they got to clean that up, you know, like you were saying. So.
Well, what's happening? The issue is that not really so much with the NBA, but with college. College is getting tired of these guys with one and dones, starting off going to school from August to December, and after that, those kids don't go back to school. People,
of course not.
If you guys don't know, when a kid signs with a college program, I'll give you a perfect example. I know, you know what? Let me not even use anybody as an example, but just think of the top tier player coming out of New York City. He's a 5-star, 6'9", shoots like Curry, handles the ball like Kyrie, dunks like LeBron. And he decides to go to Duke. No pun intended. I didn't mean to pick Duke, but it's just the first school that came in my head, and it just so happens
they
got three of the top 3 players going to Duke this year. So you know, right, exactly. So I apologize, but I'll say another school. Okay, let's say he decides to go to Wisconsin. Okay, Wisconsin. Okay. That's not a basketball power, but you know that's another, right? He decides to go to Wisconsin. He starts school in August. That's when colleges start. So they start classes in August. By the time fall semester is over, spring starts in January. That's when classes start back up. The NCAA season goes from, if I'm correct, Jeff, it's right around November, right? Because that's when they have those tournaments.
Yeah.
So
the league start late October, college start in late October. Yep.
Right. So they have games from late October all the way through March. The NCAA tournament ends now, I believe, at the beginning of April.
Yep. First of May.
That's when it ends. So the guys who know they're going to the league, it's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They're already dealing with agents. They're already talking to runners because they're runners. Runners are people within their family, people or people who are connected to the shoe companies and who are connected to the agents. So it's a guy or girl or whomever. They're in contact with the athletes because the agent or the sneaker company cannot talk to the player. So they need a gopher, which they call runner, to speak to the player and communicate. And these guys are getting big money to communicate with the player and the player's family of what the plan is. So by the time January comes around, they go back to school, these kids aren't going to class. So all these kids are flunking classes because soon as you know, Jeff, as soon as the NCAA tournament is over, as soon as your team gets knocked out, or if your team, if they leave. They leave school. They pack up their stuff and they leave. They don't even go to class. They don't let the teachers know. They just leave school. They drop out. And then you'll see them in California at a gym, working with a personal trainer, getting prepped and ready for the NBA draft. So to a lot of colleges, this causes problems because these kids are supposed to be there to be scholar athletes. They're getting free education. They're getting paid, or their schooling is paid for, which is a lot of schools $40,000 a year free for these kids to play and to go to school. But they're not even meeting their portion of it. They're just playing ball and getting ready to get up out of there so they can go. So it's just basically a stop shop. Like you just go there, take a little break, and just do this real quick, and then just leave. So they're not taking school seriously. They're not even wasting their time. So what it does is it waters down college, and a lot of the college issue they have a problem with that. And that's where the FBI probe came in, and that's why all these sneaker deals and guys are going to jail, coaches are going to jail, all these things, because college basketball is now being looked at as a laughingstock. But this has been going on for years. Kids have been flown out on private jets. They've gotten cars. Do you remember the movie Blue Chips?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
With Shaquille O'Neal, Anthony Hardaway, yeah. A couple of guys. That's what's basically, that as old as that movie is, that stuff is still going on. Remember O.J. Mayo? Remember the issue he had out there at USC? Like, this stuff is still going on. Like, it's not... So, college basketball is basically asking the NBA to come in and step in and help them with this problem. And that's where Adam Silver says, this is something I've always wanted to do anyway. So now, this gives me leverage to say, okay, this is the plan. And I think, once again, allegedly, Adam Silver has not said this. This is just my opinion. I think it's going to force the kids, whoever is not deemed elite, to be accepted into those academies. I think this is where the baseball format will come into play too. You have to play 3 to 4 years before you apply to become eligible for the NBA draft. Very similar to I think it's college football as well. So it mandates the kid to stay in school, make sure he's doing his schoolwork, make sure that he's eligible to be able to play. And that saves college basketball because now they keep the sanctuary, or I'm trying to pick the right word, but just the purity of the sport to where these kids are looked at as scholar athletes. That's the whole purpose of going to college. Your skill set is paying for your education. Not your skill set paying for your skill set, because you're not even going to class.
Right.
So this, I went on a rant, but that's, what I see what's going to happen. And I think this is going to be a big, huge change, Jeff. I think you'll see where the NBA is going to monopolize everything, and they're going to be pretty much the king of sports in the world today. So yeah, man. So great show, buddy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So yeah, so people, so once again, please uh subscribe and hit the bell icons and send us emails and let us know what you like and you dislike about our podcast, and please send us questions at the Blue Steel Show at gmail.com. BlueSteelShow@gmail.com.
Let's email, Twitter @ShowSteel, Instagram Blue Steel Show, YouTube Blue Steel Show. Hit us up, man. Great job, bro.
Yo, great job. Hey, listen, man. Have fun this next couple of days, buddy.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna blow up your spot in case you got fans, trying to attack you where you're going,
Yeah, right.
But enjoy yourself, and people will be back, as they say in the old days, back in full effect mode next week, to where we can have things rolling out, especially with the fight this weekend that we mentioned earlier, Porter and Garcia. We have to discuss, and we'll have the first week of NFL football, which we're looking forward to. Who you guys got this week, Jeff?
Cleveland.
Oh yeah, hey man, Cleveland's gonna be tough this year, Jeff.
Yeah, they are definitely.
Cleveland's gonna be tough. What
I tell you a couple, episode 2. I think they're not as bad as people think they are.
What do you think? 7-9?
I don't know. They want to say I go 5 to 6 games somewhere. I think that's about what they'll get. Ooh. Unless one of the teams in the division just falls face flat, probably 5 wins, I would say.
Okay. We got a very dangerous team this week. We got Jacksonville, my man.
Ooh, that is right. Where's it at?
In Jacksonville, I believe.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a tough one. But you know what? We'll be able to see a good matchup. Ramsey against OBJ.
That's what we like.
So that'll be good. So listen, my brother, enjoy your rest of your Labor Day.
You too, bro.
Enjoy your little vacay getaway.
Absolutely.
All right, people. We'll be back next week. Hey, my man, listen, you take it easy, man. All right, I'll speak to you soon, brother.
All right.